I do a lot of cross-border work, so people from the US, from Canada, where you're from, the UK, Europe, Australia, wherever, to time zones makes a difference. So, but it means that we're always the ones who have to deal with time zone issues. So a lot of calls at 11, 12 o'clock at night and all that sort of stuff. And I can see it in my team when we're on calls together that they get tired. We get tired. You can't make mistakes. Well, one does, and if you do, you have to live up to it and work it out. But you see it all the time. People get tired. They make emotional decisions rather than ones which have been well reasoned. They make decisions that, if they'd had just a little bit extra time to think about it, rather than firing off an email because they need to get a deal done or a client's pressuring them to do something now, if they'd stopped, thought about it, held it, spoken to somebody, had a coffee, had lunch or something, and then dealt with it, they make a better decision. And I personally regularly send emails where I think, I think if I'd left that for 10 minutes, I might have had a different tone to it, or it may have come out slightly different. But that's what this walk does for me. It does give me the ability to just stop and think, do I need to send that now, or do I think, could it be done a different way? And I see it all the time in everybody.
That's fantastic. I mean, you more elegantly describe decision fatigue there. Sometimes I struggle with. So that impulsive decision making, emotional decision making, the not being as confident as the decisions that you're making. So it's really interesting.
But you're expected, of course, by your clients to be on it 24/7.
Yeah.
Particularly if I'm talking to someone in New York or, God forbid, the West Coast, where the time zone is even worse. They expect you to be there to be able to help them through, or whatever it may be, and it's sometimes quite complicated.
Yeah, and that late at night, especially in your position, you certainly have decision fatigue at that point.
For sure. And then it's obviously then with the management piece and seeing, my teammates who are more junior and learning on the job as well at the same time, it can get quite trying for them. And that's when you have to step up and say, okay, this is what we'll deal with it, to how we sort it. And you say to the client, pause, we'll get back to you, but we'll do it in our own time. But it's you see it a lot.
But those 2 hours of internal reflection off your phone, you found that to be a big benefit for this type of condition throughout the day.
Yeah, because I sort of know where I can, now that I'm a bit more senior and a bit more grey-haired, let's say.
Wise,
good answer. Yeah, okay. I can work out what my day is likely to look like, and it's always a criticism of junior lawyers or young lawyers is, I just don't know where the next work's going to be, what it's going to be. I don't know if I'm going to have to drop everything to do this. I've got another partner saying they want me to do this. My senior associate's telling me they need this. It's not just about law. It could be any business, but I don't know quite where it's all coming from. So that 2 hours for me in the morning lets me think, okay, as well as being able to just know roughly what my day is, it gives me, okay, I need to focus a little bit more on that bit today. That bit on that deal, I think we can let go for a day and a half or so, and we can think about that later. I know that somebody else is in charge of that bit. I trust those guys. That's good. So that's all right. And you can sort of just work out what the things are which need to be focused on now and when they need to be done.
Sean, I'd like to understand a little bit about the science, about kind of the physiology, about what's going on physically, as decision fatigue takes hold as the day goes on. And why what Tom's doing is working so well is such an incredible thing to prevent or curb the effects of decision fatigue.